Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with the next project for the December kit, All the Stars Are Brightly Shining from Auntie Vera's Scrap and Craft. So this is a tea light box card. So this is both a combination of a card plus a little gift, and this is what I'm going to be giving my neighbors this year. This tea light gift is an alternative to giving a gift to someone who doesn't like chocolates or can't have chocolates. So I thought scented tea lights would be amazing. You could always put chocolate in there, so modify it to put chocolate yourself. But this was my prototype. Your message goes onto a little tag here, which you can put on this pocket. This closes up. And this is just a really beautiful card from the heart. You can stamp your little sentiment on the back there. For this project I had used one of the papers from the December kit, plus then I used some of my stash here. This was kind of my prototype, so I was just feeling it out. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make one to show you how to go ahead and put it together, so stay tuned for that. To start off with, you're going to need some cardstock, which is going to make the base of your card. The next thing you need are 2 pieces of pattern paper. They can be the same or they can be alternating. Coordinating is always better, of course. I'm going to use these 2 papers from the Oh Holy Night collection from Echo Park. You are also going to need some acetate. I have a pad here from We Are Memory Keepers, and really you could choose whatever you like. Let's go ahead and start working on the first part of this tea light box card, and that's going to be the actual card itself. You're going to need to cut your cardstock down to 8 inches wide by 5.5 inches high. You then need to score it, so your score lines are going to have to be at 3 3/4 and 1/2 inch after that, which will be 4 1/4 along the 8-inch side. And that's all you need to do with the base of this card. You are going to need to make some panels. You need 3 panels that are 3.5 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches high. I decided to do 3 and not 4 because I wanted to leave the back panel empty so I can stamp my handmade with love sentiment. But if you wanted to do 4, go ahead and cut 4 panels. You're also going to need 2 panels that are 3/8 of an inch wide by 5 1/4 inch high. These are for the inside spine and the outside spine. With the base done, we are now going to work on our box for our tea light. Start off with your pattern paper, and it needs to be 7 1/4 inches wide by 6 inches high. I designed these based on just normal tea light candles. If your candles are a little bit wider or a little bit narrower, you are going to have to measure the width of your candle. Otherwise, you can use the size that I'm giving you. Along the 7 1/4 inch side, you're going to need to score it at 1/2 inch, then 3.5 inch, then 4 inch, then 6.5 inches. Along the short side, you're going to need to score it at 1/2 and 1 inch. Flip it over to the other side and score at the 1/2 inch mark. The side that has 2 score lines is the top, and it will form the hinge lid. The side that has the 1 score line is the bottom, and that's the side that we're going to close up. Time to start burnishing now. And so I want you to burnish along the short edges first. Keep the 1 score line on the bottom and the 2 score lines at the top so that you know the orientation of your box. Flip it over and you will see that you have 1 score line that gives you 1/4 inch, and go ahead and apply your double-sided sticky tape or your PVA glue to that. That's going to attach to the side of the box. But before we close our box up, we're going to go ahead and put a window. I'm reaching for this rectangle die, and I'm going to tape it on and send it through my big shot. Now it's time for a piece of acetate, and this is 2 3/4 inches wide by 4 inches high. This allows 1/4 inch of my double-sided tape to hold the acetate down. Alright, so now it's time to close our box up. The first thing you need to do is flip over the 1/4 inch tab and line it up to the 1/2 inch side and burnish that really well. I want you to make sure that the orientation of your box is correct. You need to have 1 score line along the bottom and 2 score lines along the top. Let's start at the bottom. So with the bottom, I want you to cut 4 slits so that you create the little tabs on the side and 2 long tabs. You're then going to add double-sided sticky tape or your preferred method of glue, and basically you're going to tuck in the 2 small flaps first, which I'm putting PVA glue on, and then tuck in 1 long flap and then the other long flap. So the bottom of the box will be closed. For the top of the box, you see the 2 score lines here. I want you to cut from the top all the way down to the 2nd score line on both sides. You need to get rid of that panel at the very top there. Remove the panel from one slit to the other. Now go ahead and remove this little area here as I'm showing you, both on the left and the right. Then I want you to go ahead and create 2 side flaps. So all you need to do is slit it all the way down to that 2nd score line, and you have 2 smaller flaps which you can tuck in to create your box. Now I am going to round the corners of my box. I am also going to taper ever so slightly the small flaps on either side, just so that the top hinge of the lid will fit in nicely. And your box is done. Okay, so I'm showing you my candles here. I have this huge box of 30 scented vanilla tea light candles. I bought them at Kmart for $3. I had gone to dusk earlier. There were 12 tea lights for $12. I almost bought them, but I think these vanilla scented candles are just as nice. So if you're on a budget, check Kmart. And with these dimensions, you can fit 6 candles in my little tea light box. It's now time to adhere your tea light box onto your base card. I'm adding a combination of double-sided sticky tape plus PVA glue, as is my usual combination. Give this a good 20 minutes to dry. Now let's move on to the left-hand side. You need to create an area where you can stamp or write your sentiment. You can easily just put a panel here and you're done. I did see a good idea on Pinterest. I will try to find the artist's name and link her down below. She created a pocket which you could put a tag in, and so you could write your sentiment on the tag and then tuck it into the pocket, which I thought was a pretty idea. So to make the pocket, I cut a piece of cardstock that is 3 inches high by 4 inches wide. Along the 4-inch side, I scored at 1/4 and 3 3/4, and along the 3-inch side, I scored at 2 3/4. I then mitered the edges. And I cut a panel that was 3 3/8 inches wide by 2.5 inches high to attach onto that pocket. I did put a little thumb notch in the pocket here, which I didn't take in consideration the pattern paper. So if you wanted to do this yourself, go ahead and attach the pattern paper to the pocket first, then do your thumb notch with your 1/2 inch circle. Now go ahead and grab whatever size tag you've got. I've got this one here. It's a Tim Holtz tag. And I did end up layering a few different sizes on top of one another. I thought it would be nice to decorate the tag just a little bit, so I'm reaching for this Christmas gem ribbon that's in the All the Stars Are Brightly Shining kit. Just along the bottom there, nice little border. I have some metallic cord in gold, and I'm threading that through the top. The tag is nice and plain and white, so you can write your sentiment in there however you like. Now I wanted to make a really fancy tag, and so I added some PVA glue and shook some of these Nouveau confetti stars. In hindsight, didn't really need to do it, but hey, let's put on a big show for all you guys watching right now. Allow this to dry really well before you mash it into the pocket, or else you'll get a pocket full of stars. And now for embellishments. I'm using this ephemera pack by Kaisercraft called Noel. This is also in the Stars Are Brightly Shining kit. And my eye fell on this really pretty angel with the trumpet, and so I put that to decorate the pocket on the left-hand side. And to decorate the front cover of the box card, the paper is really beautiful enough as it is, but I thought I'd break it up a little bit and add a sentiment. So I added a small panel to the very front there. I grabbed some of my glitter thread and I kind of sort of bunched it up in a kind of random formation. I added 3D foam tape to a sentiment that says Season's Greetings, and I added that on top of that metallic thread. And it's really a basic decoration, but paper itself is beautiful and you don't need much. It's a matter of keeping it simple. I'm bringing you in for a closer look now, and I wish you could smell this. It smells so beautiful. It's a beautiful vanilla scent, and it's a great gift to receive and to give. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm going to show you a couple other designs that I made. As I said earlier, these are gifts for my neighbors, and I better get out there and give it to them. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you in my next video.